So you're welcome to today's session. We're going to be talking about US clinical clerkships for residency. And the focus of this session really is to make it clear why you need to have a clinical clerkship on your CV. What are the advantages of having a clinical clerkship? Now, as an international physician or surgeon, for those that don't want to be a physician in general, you have to have a clinical experience that is not from Nigeria. Now, one of the first things that would surprise you the most when you travel is the fact that everything else is different. Like, of course, the basis of clinical medicine is still the same. You take your history, you do your examination, but how to order for tests, how to use an electronic medical record to put in your notes, to search for drugs, to order for medications. Here recently people were talking about doctors' handwriting online, but in the US it's different really. There are very few places that still need to have a doctor's handwriting because everything is computerized, so which is good, but not so good part that you have to get used to it. So, but you can start practicing now. And the good thing is that a lot of hospitals in Lagos and I think in other cities, major cities like Port Harcourt, actually using electronic medical record now, which is good. So if you are working in a private hospital where they're using an electronic medical record, that's excellent. There are few public hospitals that have started using electronic medical records, not so many. So one of the things that a residency program is looking for is that they want to employ someone who is ready to start training and who is already used to how the US system operates. It's not like you see someone coming with fever now, you're thinking of malaria. You have to change your orientation now. You have to think of what is common in that environment. And so that's why you have to have a clinical clerkship. It gets you acclimatized to the US system. Okay. If somebody comes into your hospital, you're not going to say, I'm going to give you PCM, I'm going to pay some money. There's insurance, health insurance, there's copay, there's different aspects of the clinical care which you get familiarized when you go into when you observe. And so the best time to do a clinical clerkship is when you're in medical school as a student. That's the best time because you can pay almost zero naira for your clinical clerkships. It's too easy because a lot of universities actually have bilateral programs or bilateral relationships with other universities in the US, and you can easily use that relationship to get into placement. I know my university used to have or still has a relationship with the University of Chicago, so you can access that and use that to get your clinical clerkships. And so even most schools, once you're applying and you're applying as a medical student, they regard your application better. They're able to offer you free of charge. You're able to come over with almost zero cost. So now the most important thing is that you need to get a clinical clerkship in your specialty of interest. That's a very, very important thing. Even if you don't get it in a special interest, let it be as close enough. For example, there's no point you doing a clinical clerkship in internal medicine if your interest is in general surgery. That's a waste of time. So if you're going for maybe orthopedic surgery now, general surgery will suffice. If you're going for pathology, it's good for you to look for something close to that as much as possible. And there are lots of opportunities, and as we mentioned earlier, some of them can be expensive and some can actually be at a reduced cost. So we're going to go through each of them one by one. So now, why is it so important to have a clinical clerkship? Now this is the 2020 Program Director Survey. Now the Program Director Survey is, they send out information to all the program directors and ask them to rank what are the criteria they regard as very important for choosing applicants for residency. When you're applying for residency in the US, you select, I think I want to go to Harvard Medical School residency program, maybe in Mass General or another university. I want to go to university-based program. It's good. It's a good desire to have all that. I want to go to Cleveland Clinic to practice residency. I want to go to New York University Clinic. Anywhere you want to go to. The most important thing is that you have to apply first. And when you're applying, thousands of people are also applying to those same programs. So what will stand you out is when you have fulfilled the criteria. What is in the mind of the interviewer or the program director? What do they rank as very important? So as you can see, I hope you can all see this document. What they regard as very important for interview. So before you get into the matching process. You have to go through an interview. So you apply for residency, and this is what will guide you get into residency as you get an interview first. So what will ensure that you get an interview? This is looking at all the specialties, all the specialties. Your USMA Step 1 score is very, very important. USMA Step 1 score is very important. Although by next year, by 2022, the importance will reduce a bit. It will go to USM Step 2 CK because USM Step 1 is moving to pass or fail. Now, it's good for you to have a very good score in USM Step 1. The next important thing is to have a letter of recommendation in your specialty. Now, I cannot overemphasize this. You have to have a letter of recommendation in your specialty. Even if you can't get a clinical clerkship in the US, preferably look for clinical experiences in Nigeria where you're working or in another country where you're working. Find out what are the, let's say for example, I'm interested in neurology, then probably a neurology consultant. What research is he getting involved in? That's how you meet people. Through that, you can actually network and meet somebody in the US who is able to say, okay, why don't you come to observe in my clinic? Now, that's an easy way to get into such a program. Now, the first time I ever got into a clinical clerkship was just by writing an email. I just sent an email to someone I had the pleasure of meeting in Ibadan at a conference where he presented. So I sent an email. Okay, hello doc, can I come over for a clerkship at your university? And I was like, yeah, why not? I will host you. Now, Americans can be like that. But Nigerians can be a bit skeptical, or if you're from another country, it might be a different culture and all that. But their culture is a bit more open, and they will tell you if they want you to come or if they don't want you to come. But you need to have a relationship. You need to have you need to put your foot in the game. You know, get yourself into that space. Even if you want something awesome to happen, you have to start working towards it from now. So, as you can see, letter of recommendation is very, very important. And let's move on to the next slide. You'll see for internal medicine, the letter of recommendation is not so important in your specialty. They prefer scores. They love scores a lot. Yes, internal medicine wants your step 2 CK score to be very good. Your step 1 score is very good. Then your dean's letter, your MSPU letter, that's your medical school performance evaluation letter, then passing step 2 CS. And you can see where the letter of recommendation is rated. That's 75% of people rated it as 4.0 out of 5. Which is pretty high actually, so it's still important. Now let's look at general surgery. We can see again, letter of recommendation is coming at 88% of all the program directors rated as very important and 4.2. So the more reason why you need to get into clinical clerkships. Why? Because this is where they can see you, observe you, and it's a no-brainer really, because somebody will prefer to work with someone that somebody can attest to their clinical skills, to attest their professionalism, attest to their work ethic. So these are the things that will stand you out because somebody recommends you. That's how it is. Someone recommends you. I think I have a lot of faith in that lady. I have a lot of faith in that man, and I think will be a very good fit for a program. These are things that you need to look at and see, and how you can work towards it for residency. Now, the first thing I'll talk about is, so what are clinical clerkships? Now, clinical clerkships are divided into different spheres. There's observerships, there's clerkship proper, which you do as part of your clinical rotations in medical school. A lot of medical schools in the US have what they do during their 4th year, where they can do clerkships in any specialty of their interest. This is to help 4th year medical students make a choice of where to specialize in, or to gain more experience in those specialties of interest. Now, in Nigeria, we don't really have that, but I know in medical school, we had 4 weeks to do clinical clerkship in any specialty. That's for my school. I know some other schools also might have arrangements like that. So if your school has an arrangement like that, then work towards that. Use the opportunity to search for clinical clerkships anywhere in the world. In fact, the beautiful thing is that I didn't add that to this slide. ECFMG has what we call the GEM-X partnership, where they match you to programs outside your country of residence. So it's also an amazing opportunity for your medical school has to be participating in that program to bring benefit of it. I think the university I could remember that was part of that partnership was University of Ife at Obafemi Awolowo University. They were part of that partnership. Now this is AMPA. AMPA is the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas, and amazingly, let's say about 5 years ago, they didn't have this program. So I remember bugging them, sending them emails and saying, guys, we need to have We need to have something like this. We really need to. Everybody has it. Why don't we have something like this for ourselves? So this is really, I'm really amazed at this. I'm really excited about this. So, and you could apply online. I'm going to send you the links. I'm going to send every one of you the links, all the links that you need. I'll send it to you. Just send me an email at businessconvert@gmail.com. I'll just send you all these links. Or if you even search it online, if you could see ampa.org, just look for clinical collections, clinical rotations. The application requirements are straightforward. You have a current CV, you are current, must be a current medical student. Okay, that's the other part. Must be a current medical student. Now the absence of TOEFL, so that's an interesting one. Recommended. But I really believe that you can actually work around this. So if you are a clinical graduate and not a medical student, you could still reach out to them via email, explain to them this is what you are doing and this is who you are. You really want to come for this program, and I think they won't mind you coming along. So that's something you can also work on. Okay, never say never. So let's move on. Now the AMA, this is the American Medical Association, has a list of IMG programs, observership listing for IMGs, comprehensive to at least a fair extent. It's not exhaustive, but you can start from that. That can be a place to search from. So this listing has a bit of free or partially free because the cost is not as high as some others, and they have the high-end programs which you pay like $2,000 per week. So that's different. So you can take your time, search, look at the options, and see which one fits with what you're really going for. Yes, I'll send you this link also. You can also search it online and find it out. And also, now this is an exciting one that I think if you can get into this, I'll appreciate it. This is really amazing. This is the Cleveland Clinic, the major clinic in the US, and they're offering observerships. And you could send them an email. I know with the COVID-19 might be a bit different because there's a lot going on currently, but it's worth a try. So send them an email. You're interested in being an observer in their program. It's a straightforward application. It's not as costly as others. I think it's about it comes to about $500 to apply, and then I think $100 per week. Thereabouts. So it's not too bad. So it's something that you can work towards and get involved with. And the good thing about working in a place like this is that you are not just observing. You can participate as part of their research program. You can participate in clinical grand rounds and all that. So this is an exciting one. If you can get into this would be awesome. Now, Mass General is in Massachusetts, and this is a major one also. It's an excellent one that you can get involved in. You have the International Observership Program, and so this is something that you can look at and find out, okay, do I qualify for this? I think I can apply. So let me say this before I move on. Friends, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I hope that's clear. 100% of the shots you don't take, you miss it. So stop saying, I don't qualify. Apply. Just apply. What's going to be the worst thing? They'll say no. And then you move on. Just apply. Give it your best shot. Just apply. And see if it fits with the program. I know it's really be worth your while if you give it your best shot. Okay, so now with the COVID-19, there's this new rotation which is going on currently, which is the AMO. AMO is an interesting program because it could be a bit pricey, but I've looked at them. I've gotten a lot of emails from them. I'm like, okay, I think I should suggest this to you guys. We really want a clinical classes. Let's say you're applying and you really want something on your CV and you want to apply, get a letter recommendation and all that. I really want this. I think it's a good option while we're waiting to sort out all the travel arrangements and all that. So this saves you a lot of travel costs because this is virtual. This is a clinical question that will be done virtually. So you'll be observing and following the clinical preceptor via telemedicine. Like, I mean, it's going to be an online platform. The only thing is that it's going to disrupt your sleep pattern because you're in a different time zone, so you have to get used to that. So just like you're going to sacrifice like 4 weeks and just use that. So I think it's worth it, really, if you really need to do something. The price will come to around $2,000 for 4 weeks, so, which is not too bad if you really need it. If it's something you really need, so it's not too bad. It's something you can work on, and I think it's a good option. I just like the fact that it's virtual, so it means you can be from the comfort of your home and you're free from distractions. Yeah, but the good thing is that it pushes you to engage really. You have to really engage because you're going to be virtual, so you have to be on top of the game, engage, ask questions, find out what's going on, how can I be part of this, what's going on, what do I need to learn more, what are the things I need to. They'll be giving you different things to do, so you need to just keep up with them. Now, that's that. So now, this is where we are now. We're back with us. This is Business, and what we do really is to push you forward to have an effective application season, effective preparation season, and this is the time to start planning. And next year is here, and you have to start planning now. So now, this is me. I finished medical school. Trying to apply for residency in 2021. How do I go about? How do I start? First things first. Have you started preparing for exams? Okay, I want to get some clinical clerkships. I need some experience. Okay, now let me give you a breakdown of what you really need to, and you can start preparing and working towards. Now, if for example you're applying for internal medicine and you finished medical school 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or even 5 years ago, what do you need to do? No, you need to do very well in your step 1, do very well in your step 2 CK, have very good scores on those exams, at least have scores of 230, 240, 250, 260. Aim above the mean, because the mean comes around 210 to 220 or 230, depending on if it's step 1 or step 2 CK. So aim above the mean. That way you stand out of the crowd and you can be selected. Because most of these programs have like 5 slots, 10 slots, and they have like thousands of applicants. So something has to stand you out. Next thing is to get a good letter of recommendation. Aim to get at least 3 to 4 letters of recommendation from your specialty of interest. If you're applying for internal medicine, aim for 3 to 4. Family medicine 3 to 4. Surgery the same thing. Just aim for as many letters of recommendation as you can get. So how do you get all these things? How do you start preparing and working towards this? Now, if you're interested in internal medicine, for instance, that means let's start doing something from where you are. As if you are working in a private hospital, it means you are exposed to a lot of internal medicine cases every day. Why don't you write a case report about it? Why don't you do a research? Or maybe an example is writing how to improve medication compliance in diabetics, or ensuring that your HbA1c, all your diabetics in the hospital are below 7 over a 3-month period. What are the initiatives you did, and this is what's happened. Now, if you put that in a CV while you're applying for residency, that already stands you out. A program director sees that this guy took an initiative, created a program, created a research point, and worked on his patient that he was receiving at the Nigerian hospital, and he got this information. Wow, that stands you out. So, apply for conferences, be part of conferences, look for conferences that are linked to your specialty of interest. A lot of conferences are holding online now. Most of them have subsidized fees for students, and some of them also have subsidized for people from Nigeria and other countries that are low, middle income countries. So apply for those conferences. Don't mind the cost. Just go for it, because it's going to add a lot of value to your CV. Now, do certification courses in areas of which you think will stand you out. You could just do a short course on future learn, on Allison, on EDX. There are a lot of courses relating to your specialty of interest. Commonwealth Scholarship is on now, and there's Commonwealth Scholarship online, distance learning. Why don't you go for that? I met a young man recently who applied for Commonwealth distance learning scholarship in geriatrics, gerontology, University of Southampton, and he did everything all from Nigeria. Now, it's free. He did it free. He got the scholarship. He followed it up. So a lot of opportunities are actually available now. So take advantage of that. Have a career plan. Plot it. This is 2021 is starting very soon, a few days. What am I going to do next? What are the steps I need to take? What are the things I need to achieve within 6 months? So work towards those goals and say, okay, this is where I am, this is where I need to go to. I need to achieve this now. Just keep working towards it every day. Do something every day towards your goal, no matter how small. So let's say you're going for step one exam. That's what your goal is in the next 3 months. Then that means you should be studying for step one every single day, even on Christmas, even in New Year, even during any festive season or any holiday season. You're studying every day. The days where you're so tired, solve at least maybe 10 questions. Since you can't really study, just ensure you do something every day. That's how the brain is more efficient in processing information. The fact they are constantly is better than you doing 10 hours at one stretch. Then you do 0 hours for 5 days. Then you remember again, you feel guilty. Then you do 10 hours again. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to do the consistent knowledge bank for a residual knowledge base that will help you during the exam. So start it now. So we're done with exams. What do you need to do next? Make your connections now. You're working in a tertiary hospital, then you should find out, okay, what are the steps I need to take to do well in residency? Who are the people I need to meet up? Okay, I'm interested in this area of medicine. I'm interested in public health. I'm interested in internal medicine. I'm interested in surgery. I want to be a surgeon. Then look for a surgeon. Look for a mentor that you can work with. What research are they working on? How can I work with you on that? How many researches have you published? These are things that you need to work on yourself and start getting involved with. Find out from them, okay, what are the things I need to learn? I need to learn how to do this. I need to have this question. I have that question. Ask all the questions. Get involved. Get involved what they are doing. Be in their face. They won't mind. Trust me. They're looking for someone to teach because or they even need someone to just mentor. People, well, if you don't, my language used to say that is the person that carries hand, that's the person that they will carry. So if you don't lift your hand for it to be carried, nobody will carry you. So if you really want to go for this thing, this is the best time to plan. So use these next few days. The fact that you're even on this platform shows that you're really willing to learn and you really want to improve yourself. And that's why you have free access. So ask me any question, any challenges you have, I'll keep engaging with you with as much questions as I have to interact with you later on. So find out what are the things you need to get ready now. You need to start planning, put things in place. By 2021 November, I want to be already be in the application pool for residency. By 2022 June, I want to be celebrating and getting to residency. Yes, you can work on that. It's a lot of push, right? But you can do it. You need to set a goal for yourself. But what do I need to do to be ready before then? He said, things you need to start doing now. So I'm challenging you. This is 2020. It's been a very, very interesting year. It's been up and down, up and down. But this is the time for you to now say, I'm ready to give it my all in 2021. So there's no impossibility. I want you to remember that nothing is impossible. So the fact, and you're not disadvantaged. Why? Because of where you are, you're not disadvantaged. In fact, the, where you are currently is preparing you for where you're going. Your experiences is very important for where you're going. And these are things that will stand out for you when you attend residency interviews. Because they ask you, okay, what stands you out? What makes you special? Then you say, being who I am, being all the experiences I've gone through. And you can use that to explain why you're resilient and why you're going to be a very important team player in the residency program. So I know you guys are going to do great and you're going to excel in residency. And I'm going to start taking your questions now. So if you have a question, just lift up your hand and then we'll start questioning and answer. Just once you indicate, we're going to just move on to questions and then we'll take it from there. Okay. So you just indicate that you have a question and then we're on. Okay.